Hey now, welcome back to the OBL Hockey Podcast. I'm your host, PZ. Glad to have you back. Today is Tuesday, October 22nd. Double deuce, like my boy Greggy Jackson. It's also Frozen Frenzy in the NHL. Every team is playing. And ESPN has the feature games. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. And then every other team, check your local listings. If you have a team that you're following, it's not one of the featured games on ESPN. But I just need to start with it was a beautiful day in Colorado. I'm so grateful that I live in such a beautiful place. But I'm driving west. I'm coming home from the gym, driving west. It's beautiful, clear from south to north. You've got Pikes Peak, Mount Blue Sky, Indian Peaks, and Longs Peak. And I mean, look like they got dumped on up there. It is just beautiful velvet snow that is just calling all of us because ski season's right around the corner. I mean, we're within weeks, so that's pretty exciting. It was just, great to see that there's a base up there. We're starting to get a base. I saw it, beautiful. I mean, yeah, really, really nice. Great view of the front range. You know who's excited about ski season? Josh Barone. I saw him today. He was out training for ski season on his bike, riding the hills of the canyons, getting ready. So, Josh, hopefully we can get our turns in this season. Looking forward to it. Yeah, I mean, since the last time, it's been a few days. Weekend thrown in there. We had our DU Skate Friday. So much fun. No NHL team this week, but there was a Division I men's hockey team, the visiting Northeastern Huskies that were in town last weekend. They dropped both the games to DU, the defending national champions. Took them both 5-2, but they had all their stuff in there, so we were back in the other locker rooms again, which is fine. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit too. But I don't know if any of you guys listen to the 32 Thoughts podcast with Elliot Friedman and the new guy Kyle Bukakis. I like it. It's pretty good. Friedman is, he's got the inside scoop in the NHL. They were talking about the Boston game over the weekend and talking about how Jim Montgomery just unleashes on the captain, Brad Marchand, after Utah scores a goal, which is called back anyway. But I don't know if you guys saw it. He's really, really getting in there a couple times. And at one point, he kind of like gives him a little push, I don't know, push, shove, slap on the back, kind of a yank, maybe. It's hard to really see exactly what happened, but there was definitely coach to player contact, and it's 2024. I think you keep your hands to yourself now. So not a good look for Jim Montgomery. I like Montgomery. He was here at DU, went down to Dallas, ran into some life happened to him, like, most people, but he's rallied back, and, hopefully everything is okay. And it's just a little overexposure or something with Marchand, but I don't know. Not a good look. Yeah. And on that 32 Thoughts podcast, they had someone write in, a girl from Colorado who's just getting into hockey. So basically, she just kind of asked him, with all these people out, Lehkonen, Taves, Landy, Nichushkin, all these guys out, how did they feel? How did Friedman and Bukakis feel about where the Avs were at? And it was interesting that what they're saying. So I mean, obviously it's going to hinge on the fact of getting these players back. And they were talking about Nichushkin. Evidently, he is back in North America from Russia, and he is eligible to be reinstated on November 13th. I think that's what they said. I don't know that he gets reinstated on that day, but November 13th was the day that he's eligible. So, we'll just have to see what kind of unfold, and then, see if they get Nichushkin back. And then with Landy, it's like he hasn't played in 2 years. I'm sure if everybody's watched the Face Off, the docuseries on Amazon Prime, and if you haven't, I highly recommend it. But Landeskog's featured in one of the episodes, and when he's talking about rehab, because that's what he did last year, and that's when the series is recorded, kind of during the playoffs. But I mean, he hasn't played in 2 years. I want him to come back. I think he's a great leader when he's in the locker room and on the ice. And he even says how you can't really. How can you lead if you're not in the room with the guys? So I feel like there's a void there, and that needs to be filled. I mean, it's like they're one guy short. Give Nate the C. And it's just hard to kind of wait and see. But they were optimistic on the Avs. I mean, if you've got a McKinnon and a Makar and a Rantanen on your team, I mean, you're pretty good. But yeah, I just feel like there may be one guy short. I think Middlestat is good, but hopefully they can keep it going after the little shaky start there. And yeah, I don't know about Georgie in goal. He needs like a timeout or something. But yeah, we'll just have to see, when those other guys get back. Tays, Lehkonen, those guys. I think I don't think there's anything to worry about with the Avs. I'll be there on next Monday night. The Hawks are in town, so we're going to go check the game out. Yeah, so this Frozen Frenzy deal in the NHL, right? All the teams are playing, and ESPN has the feature games are at Philly. That game's already going on. The last time I looked, it was 2-0 Capitals, like middle of the second period. Yeah, it's 2-0 in between periods, but that's the first one. The Caps are at Philly. Interesting storyline to follow there. You got, Ovechkin chasing down Gretzky's goal record, 894 goals. He's 41 goals short of Gretzky's goalies, and he has 49 goals against Philadelphia in his career. So if he scores in the third period, hopefully he does, Philly will be the fourth team that Ovi has 50 goals against in the NHL. He's got 55 against Winnipeg, 50 against Tampa, and 50 against Carolina. So if he gets one tonight, I thought that was a pretty interesting stat line there. And it's a lot of goals. Yeah, and then the second game featured is our Avs out in Seattle at the Kraken. They're on a little 2-game win streak after the shaky 0-4 start. Goaltending was has been a little suspect. It had a lot of shots the other, 49 shots the other night. Both McKinnon and Makar are on 6-game heater scoring streaks. More assists than goals. McKinnon has 5 multi-point games out of the 6 that they've played, and that leads all players in the NHL. And Makar has had 4 of those games where he scored multi-points, so he leads all defensemen. So it's a lot of offense from those two guys. We'll see how the Avs are how they do tonight out in Seattle. Hopefully they can keep the win streak alive. Yeah, so the Avs and Kraken, and then the late game, Kings at Vegas. Eichel, Stone, Barbashev are leading the scoring for Vegas. I mean, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Barbashev, he seems so happy to be in Vegas rather than in St. Louis. He's playing so much better too. So Barbashev, yeah, he's good move for him from St. Louis to Vegas. Weather's much better. Other games of note, Winnipeg, who is undefeated, slides into St. Louis tonight. So let's go Jets. Preds are looking to get out to Schneid. They've got the unstable Boston Bruins with that drama that's happening there. But hopefully the Preds can get it going. We got the Hawks and Vancouver. I think it's at the UC. So Quinn Hughes, should be an interesting game here coming on here in a little bit. So I'll be getting ready to go watch that. And then, yeah, again, check your local listings for other games. Just real quick, one more NHL thing to just mention is that they came out with their 3 stars from last week. Sam Reinhart, Artemi Panarin was the 2nd star. 3rd star, our guy, our goalie that scores goals against St. Louis, Philip Forsberg. Yeah, for the week, he had 1 goal. He scored 1 goal. I believe he had 1 goal scored against him. He had 2 wins and a save percentage for the week of .962. So, and I don't know if I mentioned, but he scored a goalie goal against St. Louis on their home ice in their Minnesota Wild's victory over the St. Louis Blues. Sorry, Maddie. Yeah, it's been a few days with the weekend thrown in there. DU, like I mentioned, just again, Friday morning skate, greatest day of the week. It was fun. Another fun skate. We grabbed a little breakfast with the boys from the Late Game movie and the Late Game podcast, Jeff and Jeff. And if you haven't checked it out yet, I mean, you check it out again. The podcast, the Late Game podcast, and the Late Game, the movie, which is available on Amazon Prime and other streaming services. We just got to keep those guys going with the Late Game there. And nice pastimer. You know which one I'm talking about. You know, nice. Thank you. The Buffs won over the weekend against Arizona. They're 5-2, which they have exceeded the number of wins than they did last year. So Coach Prime has the Buffs pointed in the right direction. They have a lot of opportunity for improvement, but let's go Buffs. Let's keep it going. It's fun. It's fun to have Coach Prime and the Buffs winning. Michigan did not win. They lost to Illinois. Illinois is good. And I don't know, Greggy. They've got some issues. They got some issues at QB, defense. You just can't win it every year. You're just going to have to be okay with that. Yeah, I think my co-host, Maddie, is mad at me because of my comments about the St. Louis Blues, but he shouldn't be surprised. The door is open, my friend. The door is open. Come down into my basement and be my co-host. You can say whatever you want about the Blackhawks. I don't care because I do the editing. But come, my friend. I can't wait to have you here. And the other co-hosts that have volunteered, because this is getting really old with just me. And last, but certainly not least, tomorrow is game day for Old and in the Way. 9:55 down there at the Avs practice rink at the Family Sports Center over there in Centennial. 9:55 against Horsepower. It's an interesting name. New team to the league. So I did a little research from the game sheets from this season so far. The Horsepowers, the horses, I don't know, are 0-3. So they're looking to get their first victory. And another stat that is just, something that we should keep in mind is that they're minus 16 goal differential. I'm not overlooking anything, anyone, any horses, nothing. We have to play a complete game tomorrow night. This is a must win coming off the hard-fought loss to the Fat Puck last week. Yeah, we've got to play a complete game. We need to be flying the W tomorrow night, boys. We need to put that W back up. Let's bring it. Get rested up. Whatever you need to do. Get to bed early tonight. Hydrate. Think about how you're going to show up tomorrow night. It looks like we're going to have pretty full bench again. And game day tomorrow, another greatest day of the week. So I'm certainly looking forward to that and looking forward to reporting back that we did, in fact, get a victory. I'll report back after tomorrow night. I'm going to get out of here, go start watching the Frozen Frenzy, and yeah, take it easy. Peace. We'll check you guys out next time. Thanks for watching. Hey, make sure, should probably said this at the beginning, like, subscribe, whatever, rate on, if you're listening to it on just the podcast on Spotify or Apple, watching on YouTube. That would be really nice. And like I said, the goal is to at least get the team subscribed so we can talk about shit when we need to. Okay, take it easy. Bye.